We're talking with Tony McLellan, who is from the McLellan Foundation. Tony, thank you for joining us.
Well, it's a great pleasure, Doug, to be here.
Yes, it's great to have you. Now, I understand that you, as a young man, 15, I believe your father passed away, and then you moved to the city. Give us a quick rundown of your life.
Well, I was away at boarding school in Sydney. I left at 11 to go to boarding school. My dad died at 15. I had to leave school and come back and run the sheep station. And that was a big job at age 15.
That's a big responsibility. How did you go from running the sheep station to leading the world in mining?
Well, it's a good question, but the best blessing we got was I had dance band orchestras all over the place, and I met this beautiful new school teacher, and we fell in love. We got married when we were 20, which is 65 years ago.
Congratulations.
And she was a well-educated young lady, and she said, Tony, you need to go to Sydney and go to uni and learn something. And so we packed up and moved to Sydney, and blow me down if I didn't get the highest grade since 1929 at Sydney Uni. So,
wow.
And in the property business. We did a lot of travelling around in Melbourne and Adelaide and Sydney, and I was approached when I was 35 if I would be interested in moving to Egypt to build a city for 45,000 people on the outskirts of Cairo. So we packed up, and my wife Ray and I learned Arabic, and we took our 3 kids and went to Cairo. Hired 1,000 people and started work on this giant project.
Wow, that's an amazing story. But even to be invited to go to Egypt to build a city, like a city of 45,000 people, that's massive.
Yes, it's incredible that happened that way. But I became quite well known in the property business, and the guy who was sponsoring this city asked me if I'd go and take a look at his planning, which we did, came back, and I said, there are 5 things that I think I'd consider changing. And he said, Tony, thanks a million. I'd like to ask you to go and run it.
Fantastic.
I couldn't believe it. I'm 35 years old. Anyway, we went there and had several years' experience there. And my chairman then, we moved to London. He asked if I would be prepared to go to Toronto, which was his hometown. He's actually a Jewish man from Budapest, and build a new office. So we packed up and went and did that, and he arrived. And not long after he came, he called me up and said, Tony, are you free? And I said, well, in 5 or 10 minutes I'll finish this and I'll come and speak to you in your office. And he said, well, I'm actually in the hotel next door with my partner. So I skipped over to the hotel. He opened the door, sat down, and he said, I want you to be the first to know that we have sold our hotel chain. They had 69 hotels in the Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, New Guinea, Fiji, Tahiti. And I said, well, congratulations, what now? And he said, well, David and I want to go into the gold business. Oh, congratulations, great. And he said, we want you to be president.
Wow.
And I said, what would I know about gold or mining? And he said, no, you get things done and you get on with people. So I took on the job and we built the world's biggest gold company.
Wow.
It was incredible, Barrick Gold.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Tony, can you tell me about your journey to Jesus?
I can, with some humility. My wife and I had a very bitter row, and I took off to play in a tennis tournament, and she said to herself, this is enough, and she packed up and came back to Sydney with our daughter. I was absolutely shattered when I got back after the tournament and couldn't believe it, and went to our new minister. We just started going to church on a regular basis, and he said, you need God. And I said, no, I need help. I didn't know that God was going to provide it. But I went to my knees and prayed, and Jesus, as you know from Revelation, knocking at the door, and I opened the door and then he came.
Yeah.
My life had a dramatic change then. Ray came back quite quickly thereafter, and we started our new life and had a wonderful time. I became later senior warden of our rapidly expanding church, fastest growing Episcopal church in the country, and led it out of the denomination because I didn't feel that we were following the Bible, that the denomination was following the Bible. And indirectly, that led to the formation of GAFCON, which is an Anglican denomination, so very much involved with that. It wasn't that long afterwards that we returned to Australia and got linked up with some wonderful people, and was later got involved as chairman of Australian Christian Lobby, which I served for nearly 10 years. Chairman Emeritus. I was chairman of Habitat for Humanity, two organizations that I founded in my office in Atlanta. I was chairman of. So we've had lots of good bit of experience.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Now, you were just telling me off air about some of the things that you and your wife have decided to do in supporting charities and organisations and that. Why is that legacy important to you?
Well, thank you. It's something I suppose for a long time my wife and I have wanted to do is help support other Christian organisations. And I had the opportunity through CSIRO to form a company that has been an enormous success and has made many, many millions of dollars, tens of millions for me. And we committed to give half of it away. And we're busy doing that. And unlike most foundations, we give the capital away, so it enables us to give it in slices of big as $5 million. And so multi-million-dollar gifts and let people do buildings and that sort of thing. In fact, our emphasis is on building. So we're building a hospital in Tanzania. We're building hospitals in New Guinea, things that the average person couldn't do. And when God's blessed us in a mighty way, and we're getting enormous pleasure out of it.
I love that. I love that God has blessed you, gifted you, and then not only that, then you're now able to have generational impact with those gifts and those blessings. Just as we wrap it up, if someone out there is listening and they're thinking about how do I live a life of service, what would you say to them?
Well, that's such a great question. I think it's looking up to God and asking Him to tell you what He'd want you to do. Here I am at 85, working 6 days a week, distributing this money. We're trying to do it extremely thoughtfully and carefully, and it's hard work, but we're loving it.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Tony, for your time. And Tony is the chair of the McLellan Foundation, and it's been a privilege to talk with you, my friend.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
You're on Sunshine.